Hey again, guys. Well, that week one NFL opening day was rough for me. I was having some fun with Rick on my Steelers and the 49ers, but truth be told, I can't remember the last time we ever beat the 49ers. We always lose to them, so I wasn't very optimistic, to be honest with you. I remember a couple of years ago, we went up against the 49ers. Garoppolo was the quarterback. Steelers had 5 turnovers in the first half, maybe the first quarter. They were just absolutely dominating the game, and San Francisco came back and won it. That's just the way it is. Sometimes there's a team that is kind of like your nemesis. You know, the New York Islanders are like that for my Pittsburgh Penguins. But it's funny in the world of card investing and QB prospecting. So what do you do now? Sell Joe Burrow cards because he had a bad game. Heck, he had a worse game than Kenny Pickett. You better sell Justin Herbert cards, man. He lost. I remember one year. One year, Kansas City was playing New England on opening day. And they beat them. They just absolutely killed them. It was something like, I don't remember the exact score, but somewhere in the 30s to 3. And everybody was saying that New England was washed up and Tom Brady was washed up and maybe it was time for him to retire. And he won the Super Bowl that year. And Kansas City did not have a very good season. I remember one year, 2011, the Steelers and Ravens, a game I'll never forget. My cousin was in town and we were watching it. Opening day, Big Ben threw 5 interceptions. They got murdered like 35-7. But the Steelers finished the year 14-2 and made the playoffs. With all sports, it's the second half of the season. It really matters. I always say baseball doesn't matter till the All-Star break. And it's always the teams that are healthy and clicking in the NFL at the second half of the season that seem to do well most of the time are the ones that, peaking into the playoffs. I know last season the Steelers were so bad it was the worst start I've ever seen in my entire life by a Steeler team. And I told everybody, all my friends, everybody on here, I said, Kenny Pickett will be starting by week 5 when they decided to start Mitch Trubisky. And I think they went 1-5. They won opening day against Cincinnati, and they shouldn't have won that game. Like, they lost the game 3 times before they won it. Like, Cincinnati kept missing kicks and did everything they could to lose that game. And man, they had a good second half of the season after Kenny got his stride and were a sniff away from going to the playoffs, and I would have never believed it because last year was so bad, and it was one of the few times, I don't live in Pittsburgh, so sometimes if the game's not televised, I got to go somewhere and watch it. It was one of the few times I didn't do that. I just followed it on the red zone or whatever. I mean, they were so atrocious, it was embarrassing. But they still were like one other team from losing for them to go to the playoffs. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Tomlin finds a way to keep us, just when you write them off, then all of a sudden they have a chance. So we will see what happens. Man, we're going up against Cleveland on Monday night. And those 2 cornerbacks, holy cow, did they shut down Cincinnati. If that's the way they're going to play all year, it'd be good to be a Cleveland fan, let me tell you. It reminds me of 2 other, who were their corners back in the 80s, 90s? Man, they had a tandem that was fantastic. One of the greatest tandems in NFL history. And I'm drawing a blank on their names. I'll have to put it on another video. So, there's a good sign. I had done an analysis. I wanted to do an autograph analysis on The Rock. And I got very few views on that video. And I think that's a good thing. Are we finally past this thing? Are we finally going to let it go and move on? I I thought it was a good analysis, but nobody seems to want to watch it. So I think that's a good sign. Mike Monahan put out a baseball collector, put out a video today where he was saying he's just not buying much. And, I've been in that card funk. I haven't really been happy with the direction of the hobby or what's going on. And I had pretty much stopped buying cards for the most part. I get things here and there leading up until the National. And I bought a lot of stuff at the National. And I was rejuvenated coming out of there. But I'm back again where I'm really not buying much. And it's not like stuff's not out there to buy, but I just haven't been feeling it lately. I lost a little bit of that fire that I had. I don't know if any of you are feeling like that, but I guess that's okay to have some downtime here and there. So I've been haven't been showing a lot of cards because I haven't had a lot of cards coming in, and I've been trying to find other ways to make some videos because I still love the hobby and I still love making videos and I still love the card community on here. So I've been coming up with some other things. That said, I wanted to give a special thank you to my man Stooks. Stooks Cards and Curiosities. One of the most knowledgeable card people I know. One of the most knowledgeable card people here on YouTube. And he had sent me these, and it was very unexpected. These are the, Fantastic Sam's. Let's get these. I want to say Jiffy Pop. Fantastic Sam's. And these are, I guess, the square proofs of these. These were discs. And he sent me the whole set. Scott, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's some cool ones in here, too. Show you a few. Dale Murphy. Andre Dawson. George Brett. Hitman 23. There you go. Donnie Baseball, baby. Ozzie Smith. Oh, I got one for Wade Boggs fan here. That's a cool pose. Scott, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. This was very unexpected. These are fantastic. Because my man Kevin Blackhurst had sent me all kind of uncut sheets of stuff. So this is great to go with those. I just want to let you guys know, I've been making like shopping lists on Amazon that I could share with people. Because people are always asking me about card products. And so I decided to make a list on there and put products that I like, products that I buy or have bought over the years. And one of them is these packet of BCW magazine holders. And these are great for your Beckett's or just magazines in general. They keep them real nice. They're nice and firm in there. I believe they make two different sizes. I think they have these for special for thick magazines too, because some of the old magazines are really thick. But these fit nearly every magazine you could think of. And they're a great way to store them. Now, these used to be pretty expensive, but I found them on Amazon for, I think, $23 for this whole pack, which is actually the cheapest I think I've ever found them for this. These can get a little pricey. So I'll put the link in the description to that. And we're working on the next Mangini Letter. We're working with Adam, Splendid Sports Cards. And he has a special set that he would like to highlight. So I'm going to do, I think my next one's going to be on a football set. I need to sit down and write it up. Need to get some other sports in there. It's been pretty much baseball so far, except for some overseas multi-sport set we did. And the one Adam's working on is basketball. And I'm going to work on a football one. So those are probably going to be the next two to come out. If you're not subscribed, I will put that link in the description as well. I think it's about due for another one to come out. I don't set a schedule. It's not a monthly publication. I don't have advertisers or anything. I don't need to be on that schedule. So we just kind of do it when the urge strikes, when we have something to write about. And I've had my last several have been guest contributors. So when they send something, we put it up right away. So that's kind of how it's going to go. There's going to be no necessary rhyme or reason to it. Not necessarily every week or every month. But it should be multiple times a month. So I'll have those links in the description for you. And that's what I had on my mind. If you're interested in a little autograph analysis, you can go back, check out that rock autograph thing. It's so hard. So hard. The rock autograph may be the easiest autograph ever to fake. It's a very simple, and usually just signs the rock. So it's an interesting. The whole dynamic is interesting. You know, one person might authenticate it and another might not. And if somebody hasn't signed right in front of you, you truly have no idea if they signed it. And if a signature is a little easier to fake and somebody's good at knowing the nuances and stuff, it'd be really hard to tell. I'm not a big autograph collector myself, and the more I see goes on, and the more what I believe to be fake autographs I find slabbed, man, the more I want to stay away from them, unless I'm getting them myself. And somebody had sent me a Babe Adams autograph index card, and PSA, has it. If you pull up the cert, it says Babe Adams, but it's actually Bobby Adams, who was a more obscure player in the 1950s. And they actually slabbed it Babe Adams, even though it says Bobby. And it's on eBay right now. Somebody's selling it as a Babe Adams signature. And I was looking at it, and it was remarkable. The similarities with the Adams, the way they signed the Adams. And aside from the Bobby, I could see why PSA, an authenticator, might think that was Babe Adams' signature as far as the Adams is concerned. However, it did say Bobby. But there were three. I was comparing it to a Babe Adams autograph, and there were three areas where there was separation between the letters that was common to both signatures. It's just uncanny how similar their Adams were. I mean, they had certain things that were off, but uncanny. If you have two people sign the same last name, it is not common that they are going to have the gaps between the same exact letters, for instance. So the whole autograph thing is, it's a whole new realm, and you can never be sure. I know I heard that back in the day, Bo Jackson's wife signed most of his stuff. Roberto Clemente's one you have to be careful with. He had a clubhouse guy sign it, and that was common back then. When you'd send in for an autograph, to have a clubhouse person do it, or secretary do it, or whatever. So you really have to be careful. But that's what comes with autograph collecting, and that's one of the beautiful things of TTMs, right? You're sending it directly to the player, and you're getting it back. Now, I mean, it's possible maybe a family member signs that and sends it back to you. Maybe that's possible, but unlikely, highly unlikely, I guess. So that's the one thing I always thought, like, I never wanted to collect somebody's checks or something. Like, that just seemed over the top to me. But as when I got older, I realized that's the best way to know you're getting a legitimate signature. It's highly unlikely somebody would forge a check or have their wife sign their check or somebody else sign their check for them, right? So that's probably the absolute best way to get a signature. And I know they include those cut signatures in in cards as cut signatures, like I said. So hey, that's what I have you. I've had a long day. Just got done working out. A little tired. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, as always.